Just what's up with Zach Daniels? I mean, I don't think he had this many good at-bats through 2 games all of last season.
I think he's learned. Hitting is trial and error, and really baseball is trial and error, but I think he's learned a lot, and he's done it through hard work. I mean, you're not going to find anyone in the cage more often than he is, and he's been able to get opportunities, whether it be scrimmages, summer ball, with us out there in games, and he's made the most of them. And the more comfortable he gets kind of being himself, the better he is. I don't think there's any coincidence that kind of came at the end of the game. 4th, 5th at-bat, scores a little more comfortable, and there's nothing to say he can't be that comfortable every at-bat. And if he chooses to be, it's going to be a dangerous year for him, I guess, against the opponents.
Would you say it's more of a mental adjustment or maybe a mechanical
There's
adjustment?
There's been physical things in there. A guy that's that big and strong and his body moves that quick, it's obviously an extreme advantage, but you got to think of it the other way. Sometimes it can be a disadvantage too. You need to learn to control that. I would equate it to a pitcher that's got a great arm. Drew Gilbert can throw harder than he did today, but sometimes when he's trying to throw as hard as he can, he doesn't have as great of command of it. So, being under control in this game is so crucial, and he's got some big-time weapons at his disposal. He needs to be under control like he was in that at-bat you're referencing.
2 games, 2 shutouts. Can you just talk about the defense and how important it is to start out this year?
No, it provides you a sense of comfort because, not every day is Chase Wallace going to be throwing as well as he did, if he starts 16, 17 times this year. But your defense behind him can be consistent. And when you have that, it's kind of that rock or that foundation when you show up to the park every day. And the other thing is the guys saw today why we like guys that are versatile, that can play a lot of positions. We had guys all over the place today, and we got a lot of faith that they can get it done at each of those spots.
Today was the record under your command for most runs. How impressive was the offense today?
I think it was kind of a matter of time. I don't think we have the best offense in the country. At least we haven't earned the right to declare that. But we're certainly not the worst either. So a little bit of a slow start there, partly due to Western Illinois' pitching. But also just not kind of getting it going the way we need to. And guys finally shed themselves of a little bit too much adrenaline rush or whatever it was going on and just started to play. And when this group just plays, they're pretty exciting.
You got a chance tomorrow to go for the sweep. How big is that for your team? Just two games in to be able to go for a sweep this early in the season.
Every win matters. And if you look at the end of the year when they have that selection show, there's always a team or two on the bubble that wishes they could have reversed a score here or there, whether it's conference or non-conference. So you don't want any regrets, and that's why every win is important. But the other thing is every college coach in America right now is talking to their guys about how important Sunday is. It's a day where you avoid a sweep, you get a chance to get swept, or in our conference, about every weekend seems like it's 1-1, and Sunday's going to decide, or at least Game 3 is going to decide the series. So crucial for a lot of reasons.
Today you guys got a great opportunity to get a lot of players involved and get a lot of players out there on the field. Was there anything in particular that really stood out to you today?
Pete Durkee comes back for his senior season and not quite sure what his role is going to be on the team, and he's patient. And he was actually the last guy to come off the bench in this particular instance. And he might have had one of the best at-bats with that, opposite field double, backspinning that thing. So that's just the most fresh in my memory. But the other thing was really nice to get some of those guys their first outing, like Mark McLaughlin. The guys were teasing him over in the dugout when he covered first base on that play. He's a lovable guy. I don't know. They got nicknames and other stuff going on in the locker room that I'm not privy to all the information, but I know they really like him, and I know the coaches think a lot of him. And he showed good stuff out there. He could be a big-time pitcher in this program.
What'd you see out of Chase on the mound?
The Chase that's been all junior year, and part of it's a little bit out of his control circumstances. Like he's had some nagging injuries. He's a young kid for birth date wise for being a junior. So there's just been a lot of things. We didn't put him in as good of situations freshman and sophomore year. There's been a lot of things that have prevented him from being a household name in Tennessee, even though he's a local kid. But the way he's pitched all junior season, literally the whole time, has been as a Friday night type pitcher. And I thought he did that today. So it's been nice that it's been consistent.
I know the score maybe dictated the circumstance, but with Drew Gilbert coming in, hitting at a pinch hit role, and then coming in to pitch, is that something that you see down the road, using him in that type of situation, hitting then pitching?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of our best players, and incredible for him to be, Mr. Everything in Minnesota, and then, all the SEC schools try and get him. And he sat there for a game and a half and didn't complain on the bench and was energetic and cheering for his teammates. And then when he got his opportunity, he showed you guys what he can do. He can affect the game on both sides of the ball. And a lot of the accolades that he acquired and attention was on the mound or for what he could do on the mound. But he's got a really good swing and an incredible hand speed. He's equally as good offensively, I feel.
Gilbert and I both had 3 RBIs off the bench. How does that feel to have some depth on the bench?
Good, and that's what we've been preaching. So it feels good to see it today, but it's got double the impact because that way I don't look stupid when I'm saying to the media nonstop that we got some depth. And, it's a real positive for guys to know, in my opinion, when they show up to the park, they could be in the game at any moment. And if they don't get it done, their buddy can get it done. And they may be asked to play different positions. It's just more fun that way, as long as they'll all jump on board with the fact that there's going to be a different guy that gets credit, every day in particular. And, today Austin Knight gets a lot of credit, even though he came off the bench and didn't have such a good start yesterday. I think he kind of just said the heck with it and either took his frustration out on that baseball or, again, just decided to be Austin Knight rather than, be perfect as everyone was trying to be the first few at-bats, I feel.
2 more questions for Coach.
What you see out of Liam, Landon, Trey getting their first opportunities of the year?
Yeah, I think Trey is steady Eddie, and that's on the field and off the field. I mean, all the easy stuff, he's one of our best guys at. He just handles his business the right way. So, again, steady Eddie is kind of the feeling I get when he's on the field, and that's what he did today. And, Liam showed that Ricky Martinez was a great one for us, and it was a sad day to see him go, even though we're excited he got drafted. But we had Liam on board to replace Ricky, and he showed you all that he can do things maybe his own way, the Aussie way, but I think just as productive. And he's a fun guy to be around, and he showed you that he can be fun on the field as well.
The lineup changed from today's game and yesterday's game with the addition of a few new players and a few players that got their chance today. Does that credit to the success of today's game, or do you think it was just a game that today you guys played well?
I think it clicked a little more for this lineup today, and then kind of once the pressure of, scoring enough runs to win the game went away and there's a little bit more comfort, then it unfolded the way that it did. So there's a lot of factors, but tomorrow's lineup's going to be different too. And we'll look at what was successful today, but I got to be honest, maybe Coach Fulmer can help me because he won a lot more games than I did. I don't know who belongs where yet, and that's a positive. And, it's great when you got a bunch of, I assume being a track coach, if you got a lot of runners that are all about the same speed, but at some point you need someone to break apart from the group a little bit. And, guys have been doing that in practice and in games, but we'll keep alternating things a little bit till we feel great about the best lineup going into SEC play.
Thanks, Coach.